Jay here for Stretford, Paddock, and this is the review of the match featuring Stephen Howson, where Manchester United have just got a late equaliser against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Steve, talk to me. How are you feeling, first of all, after that game? Are you feeling like buzzing that we got that late equaliser, or are you a bit more level-headed?
Nah, pissed off.
Right, okay.
I think the first half an hour, we didn't do enough to win it in the first half an hour, but I thought we should have had a goal for our efforts in the first half an hour. And I literally remember saying to myself, when they made the change, they brought Kovacic on because we were shagging them, let's be right. When they made that change, I went, I hope we don't pay for this now.
Yeah. No, I agree. I thought it was very good tactical change by Graham Potter. They seemed to get a lot of momentum, especially in that second half. It was, I know it's a cliche, but it was a game of 2 hours. I don't want to be too negative, right? We'll get to the other players in a minute, but just on, what did you make of the chances we had? Because Eric Ten Hag's mentioned it, you've got to take those chances. Marcus had a couple. Anthony had a really good one. What did you make of those chances? And, you know, do you blame the players for not being a bit more clinical there?
Sancho's in a bit of a poor run of form.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Marcus is suited in every instance to play down the middle as a 9.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought Anthony was probably the best of the 3, but I thought Anthony was still a little underwhelming today. But the 3 of them, on a sliding scale, Anthony would probably be the best of the 3, and then maybe Marcus still a little bit questionable decision making. I'd like to see him. There was at one point in the first half, I think it might have been, where he's penetrated the box. He's got 2 Chelsea players immediately to his left and then one a little bit further in the box. And he's got Anthony in space to his right. And he chooses to shot and he gets it on target, draws a save. But in those moments, I'd like to see him give the ball and then spin in and make a run on the inside and get yourself a higher percentage shot. Like he shoots from shit angles that you Kepa's in great form. He's just gone 10 hours without conceding a goal, hasn't he?
Yeah, something like that.
These are the games where, look, if you want to be a number 9, you got to show people that you can be the number 9. I don't know if he's saying he wants to be the number 9 because he thinks they're going to prefer Sancho over him on the left. I at the moment would play him over Sancho on the left. I don't think Sancho's deserving of a start based on his performances.
No.
If Anthony Martial was fit, I think your best forward line would be Martial down the middle, Anthony and Marcus on the left. And I think that no one would have a drama with that. Whatever Sancho needs to do, it might just be a week out, refocus and get yourself back in. I understand it, but it's still a little bit disappointing that in these sort of desperate circumstances, you've not seen the likes of Garnacho.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I was looking at that bench and there's a few youngsters there and I was thinking, is it now? And I was a bit sort of sceptical because it's Stamford Bridge. It's a difficult ground. But, you know, there are a lack of options and you think now might be the time to give one of them a go. What did you make of Lisandro Martinez? Because it seems like every week we're talking about him. And, you know, I don't think the word cult hero is fair because cult hero suggests there's a lot of fans that don't love you. And I think all the fans are loving Martinez because it's just the way he plays and what he does. What did you make of his performance at Stamford Bridge?
Him and Varane,
yeah,
I think are playing at a level of defending that we've not seen since Rio and Vidic.
Okay. Yeah.
I couldn't put it any simpler than that.
Yeah.
Like, it's been so, like, I look at this United team and think we don't lose games at the moment. And people are like, City just absolutely wiped their dick all over us. And you're like, yeah, okay, but that was more of a collectiveness. Like, the entire team shit the bed in that. And actually, how many did we even concede when both of those two were on the pitch?
Varane got injured, didn't he? I was pointing this out on a watch-along. Varane went off for the corner they scored. He wasn't on the pitch. And he wasn't fit when Haaland scored the one at the far post, was he? Because he went off a minute later. You know, he was struggling. He was literally hobbling. He was like, I can't, you know, I've got to come off.
Yeah, so I think if you take that in as a bit of a mitigating circumstances, outside of that, they've barely conceded a goal. I mean, he wasn't on the pitch for the one that we conceded today.
Yeah.
You know, they're playing at such a high level, and I think they're aided by Casemiro in front of him. You don't see that. I mean, I've just done a review with Rio, and Rio talks about the lateral movement of Casemiro, because I said, I don't see Casemiro run. He just seems to always be, he's just like always there. Like, you turn around and he's fucking there next to you, but you never see him getting there.
It's like,
and he said he doesn't really run forward or backwards, but he does, Joe, shuttle across sideways. And because he's shuttling across sideways, that's what you want from a CDM. And obviously he's one of the best to do it. I've been surprised at how good he is, because Real Madrid are one of them teams, a little bit like Bayern Munich. Like, you only get their players out of them.
Yeah.
When they want them players out of there.
I knew they are.
I've been a little bit surprised with the level Varane's hit today, and I think in part because of Martinez alongside him, not just today, but this season. Varane and Casemiro are showing that you can get a player out of Real Madrid at times. It's
just disappointing to see the Varane injury. We don't know what's happened there. I think Ten Hag said 24 hours. He looked distraught. To me, he looked like someone who thought...
It's World Cup, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't think he looked like, oh, this is my career. I think he thought, I'm out for, even if it's 6 weeks, that's probably your World Cup, innit?
Do you know what? Can I be happy?
I feel for him, though.
If you give me the choice of, look, Varane's not going to go to the World Cup, but he's going to be fucking itching to get playing again around Christmas, be like...
You're a harsh man, you, Stephen Howson. I get it, though. I do.
Right alongside me, yeah. What's that? He's going to be fit for the rest of the season. Maybe fuck France.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the end of the world. Even if he was English, I wouldn't be that bothered. I'd be more bothered about United, let alone,
I really wouldn't be bothered if he was English.
Exactly. Just finally, this we talk about this all the time. Tactics is one thing, management is one thing. Picking the right players is one thing, but that spirit, you do need that. And I hate the old passion merchants, but you need to show that. You need to show that belief and determination. And I do get a feeling that, you saw it today, there is that returning to this team. There seems to be a real togetherness and a real belief. And we saw it in those last few minutes.
Ten Hag's talked about culture this week in the reprimanding of Cristiano Ronaldo. And I think the reprimanding of Cristiano Ronaldo is indicative of the culture that Ten Hag is setting, the responsibility that the players owe to themselves and to him and to the badge. And I think because he's demanding of these standards, setting of these standards, and resolute in the adherence to these standards, he doesn't give a fuck whether you're Cristiano Ronaldo, Anthony Elanga, or as Garnacho found out on tour, a 17-year-old fucking academy prospect. If you stick to the rules or you sit this one out. He's had some monstrous decisions. The Maguire one can't be overstated how big a decision that was. This is the guy that's the club captain. Cool story, take a fucking seat. Cristiano Ronaldo's the best goal scorer of all time. He's not scoring goals at the moment, is he? So take a fucking seat. Garnacho, one of the hottest prospects in world football. Yeah, what was that, late for a meeting? Well, you won't be fucking late for the next one, will you? Take a fucking seat. He's consistent. You can't deny that. And the players that he's brought in, Casemiro, Antony, Martinez, Christian Eriksen, to a greater or lesser extent, Malacia has not done bad. He's just done the let's get Luke Shaw playing mega for 6 months sort of drill. But the players that he's brought in have had one thing running through them, and that is character. The character of Casemiro's top. The character of Martinez, I watched a fair bit of him beforehand. We did the scout reports on him. I thought I knew what he was like as a player, but the character, that's what comes across in the moments off the ball. That's what comes across in the moments that you don't really see in clipped up packages when you're trying to analyze the little bits that they do. Martinez has been absolutely ridiculous, and he's a character. There was times when Mason Mount was kicking off, and he was like,
"Oh, just tweeted about that, yeah."
Just, what are you gonna do? Bring it on.
Luke Shaw saved Mason Mount's life, I think, there, because Luke Shaw just ran over and threw him away. And I think if he'd not have done that, I think Mason Mount would be picking up his teeth now. It was just like, you're right. It's like that is one of the biggest mismatches ever. Do you know what I mean?
When you think about some of the great captains this club's had, and for me, Robbo was a touch early for me, but I'll throw him in the mix for the Reds of a certain vintage. You think of Robbo, and you think of Cantona, and I think of Roy Keane, and I think that's the sort of three quintessential United captains in my mind.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit unfair on Vidic, some might say, but I think those three were a step above. I see traits in both Casemiro and Martinez where they wouldn't look at a place playing alongside Cantona and Keane and Robson, and I think they would all garner the respect of those three. And I think if you saw Martinez wearing the captain's armband one day, would you raise an eyebrow?
It's a shout out. No, I wouldn't. I think he's a leader.
If you saw Casemiro wearing the captain's armband, would you raise an eyebrow?
Absolutely not. No, not at all.
And when Maguire was given the armband, did you raise an eyebrow?
A little bit. I'm not going to lie. Do you know what I mean? And
I think that's telling. You know, when Pogba wore the armband, which he did a couple of times, there was a bit of a raised eyebrow, wasn't there?
Yeah. It does.
I don't think you would raise an eyebrow at these two lads wearing it. I think they play like they are anyway.
You're right, and it's good to see because all the great, you've mentioned all the great United sides. They've had leaders all over the pitch. When Steve Bruce was the captain, around that time, you had people like Roy Keane in that team, Eric Cantona in that team, Paul Ince.
Paul Ince. Before his head fell off and decided he wanted to play for fucking Liverpool. Paul Ince was a warrior. Of
course he was. Do you know what I mean? Dennis Irwin was someone who you could take in at the trenches with you. Do you know what I mean? Like that whole team was, Chucky obviously caused a 21-man brawl against Arsenal. They weren't scared. They didn't mind getting, into a bit of a scrap. And you need a bit of that because we've been too soft over the last few years. And we're seeing it now. We're seeing it, not just Bruno who shouts at everyone, but the likes of Martinez, the likes of Casemiro, they're sticking up for themselves. And teams are, hopefully going to start respecting us a bit more because they realise you're not just going to bully us, which has been a thing for me.
No. I mean, look at... We've just played Tottenham, Newcastle and Chelsea and we conceded a penalty across them 3 games.
That's a great point. Yeah, really good point.
We're a little bit gun-shy up top.
Yeah.
No United fan in the world is telling you that we're not. With Anthony Martial injured, Ronaldo is spitting his dummy out. And let's be honest, he's been shit when he's played anyway this year. Sancho's been underwhelming. Marcus has been a little bit hit and miss. Anthony's been decent, but you're not asking him to carry the team just yet. Yes, are we gun shy? Yeah, we fucking are. Absolutely. Yeah. But we're hard to beat. And Ten Hag's come in and gone, you have 2 choices. If you come in as a manager, you've got 2 choices. You go, I'm going to score shitloads of goals and win 4-3 and occasionally lose 5-0. Or I'm going to try and make us hard to beat and we'll have a couple of fucking bore fests. So Alex Ferguson had that for a few years.
Yeah.
It was boring.
No, you're right.
And he even had it maybe 4 or 5 years deep. The team that came second to Leeds, you didn't beat that team very often, but that team might not score a goal for a couple of weeks. And that's when we added, especially that 92-93 season. How many times did United not score or score 1, but we conceded 1, so we only get a fucking point? Then you bring Cantona in and you go, oh.
Exactly. Well, you're right. You've nailed it because at the end, I don't want to get too history lesson, but you're right. The season we lost to Leeds, when we had all those games, the fixtures, I think it was 5 games in 10 days or something stupid. And we kept losing and drawing games because we couldn't score. You've nailed it. Now, you look at what we're doing. We're solid defensively. We just need, as you've pointed out, a bit more firepower at the other end of the pitch. And hopefully, though, we can get that because we are creating chances. It's not like we're not. We just need someone who can finish him a bit better than what we've been doing. Steve, always a pleasure, my friend. Congratulations on another win with Stretford Paddock FC as well.
6 on the spin, lad.
6 on the spin. He's on
6
fire.
6 straight win. That's good, that, isn't it?
Of course it is. And I know, like,
it's good, that.
I've seen the standard and some of the teams you play. And I was chatting to you before, saying I know a lad from the team you played today, and you've got or supports the team you played today. Sorry, I know it's a good standard. So that when the highlights on Stretford Paddock FC, can we go and check them out
tomorrow? Honestly, 2 genuine goal of the month contenders, 2 of them in one game.
2 in one game. Go and check that out. I'll put a link in the description for Stretford Paddock FC and go and check out his video. Go and check out. You're a right little fuck you. Go and check out his video about the Scousers today. Hey, he never misses a trick. I swear to God, full-time whistle went. He was ready with it.
When was it recorded? That's what we want to know. When was it recorded?
I want to know because I think there's a bit of a. There was the one where you went. They failed to beat Forest, and I'm like, as these bets here at like 1-0 he's for.
When do you think that was at 2 o'clock this afternoon?
Yeah, do the maths. Do you know what I mean? You can't, unless he's just said, hang on a minute, lads, pause the game while I just nip to my studio. But anyway, it's a funny video, very funny video. Go and check it out. Steve, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stretford Paddock. Thanks for watching.